So there is someone, and they are called Therians.
Yeah.
Therians or Therianotypes, and we did something that
We've
was
done
somewhat
something.
similar.
We've discussed the
Otherkins.
Therians.
No, Otherkins and
Oh,
Therians
and then they
are
were.
different.
Oh, Therians are like werewolves or something, right?
So Therians, yes, are people who identify in some intrinsic way as an animal that exists or has existed on Earth. Being a Therian is involuntary rather than subcultures such as the furry fandom. So they think they see themselves as like way different from furries. You know what I mean?
It's Teen Wolf. They are Teen Wolf.
Yeah. And they choose to engage with the community. Therians are generally aware that they physically have a human body. So they know that they're stuck with this human body, right? But the funniest part is like, so all the people posting, a big thing is them talking about what they call quadrobics, which is essentially humans running on four legs like an animal. So they're all of these like adults that walk around their house growling on all fours.
There was a guy on TikTok actually who I saw who's like, I'm gonna walk on all fours like for like I don't know, like a month or something, or like some period of time. And it is crazy how like he was all clunky at first, and then he looked like really like moved.
He had it better.
The way he moved by the end of it was like a dog or something.
Well, some of these Therians are having problems with it because this guy, one of the ones actually, this guy posted, he goes, "Hey, I can't run on all fours now that I'm an adult. Ever since I was a toddler, I've been a Therian, and it's been extremely mild, especially compared to most, but I've always been walking on all fours, and I wanted to get back into the game." You know what I mean? He wanted to get back into the walking all fours for old times. I used to run on all fours extremely fast, but now I'm a grown adult who isn't super athletic, and I've watched some videos on it, and I know that I have to have my fingers curled in, wearing gloves with padding.
Fingers curled in, that would make it very tough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he does it like that. But basically his whole thing is he can't Therian like he used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this guy, well, that's what happens when you get old. And then, you know, they're coming in. We got the gang together because they're all in packs, right? The wolf packs. They go, "What are you thinking? You want to get the pack back together for one last time?" And he goes, I can't do that anymore. And he gets out there and he's got an injury. You got to explain to your wife, like, what's going on with your arm? You got an injury? It's like, a bit of a wolf injury.
Yeah.
So
you say wife, but my question is actually, is this a gay thing?
I don't think it is.
Because the guy who you're talking about right now, his handle has the word gay in it. Gay duck father.
Well, I'm sure there is some gay Therian.
But I'm wondering, because a lot of these things end up being like really
sexual.
And they're like really like denominated by people who are like LGBT or whatever.
Of course.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is this, are these like fucking
90% of these Therians are like, "Oh, I'm a wolf. Oh, I'm also gay, bi, and
that's
trans."
The whole
package.
What I'm asking.
Doesn't stop there. But the thing that probably I liked the most about this is there's sort of like a bit of a fight between the old Therians and the new Therians. And this old Therian guy, he's like, "Listen, guys, I've been a Therian before you. I was been walking on all fours before you, when you were walking on all fours. When you were still walking on all fours." When you were in your diaper walking on all before, when you were crawling around, right? And he sort of was giving people advice. He was like, "Listen, these are some things that I learned." And a lot of his advice was like, you got to interact with them. Don't necessarily come out of the closet as a Therian to everyone because some people won't react. Like, maybe just keep it yourself, the community. And I was like, I don't think this guy's met what 18-year-olds are like right now. Yeah. His thing was sort of like, don't rub it in everyone's face. And I was just like, my friend.
These kids are shitting at the mall, just on the floor of the food court, being like, "What? I can't help myself. I'm just a dog."
Exactly, right? You go, that is not, every single one of these people is starting a TikTok account the day they decide that they're a Therian.
Oh, yeah.
They already have a Therian Pride Day. They're petitioning at schools so they don't have to sit in desks.
They have a club. They're marching.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's not. Is it a march if you're on all fours?
I think that would be some type of a crawl, like a pub crawl.
Like a pub crawl.
Yeah. You have a wolf pub crawl, a Therian pub crawl. No pun intended. He says, "I noticed plenty of the users here are teenagers. I've identified as a wolf person since I was 14. I found the Therian community a bit later and joined the community when I was 18. I'm now 30. Still a wolf person, had my struggles, but now I'm happily married, employed, and no longer depressed. Well, I am certain that the older members here on the subreddit can give good advice. I want to throw in my 2 cents. The biggest thing about being a Therian, so if you're out there and you're walking around on all fours, growling at people, this is what you should know. Find a balance between the human and animal side. Find safe ways to indulge in your instincts. It's often a better idea to regularly do small things in order to avoid buildup and frustration. So this is where I think he's losing them. He's saying, just do a few things here and there.
Yeah, pee on a fire hydrant, that kind of stuff.
Pee on a fire hydrant. Growling's a big part of what they do, is they like growling. He goes, walking around at home on all fours while no one can see them. Like, this guy wants you to sort of be in the closet with your Therianness, right?
He's ashamed.
He's ashamed.
Sad.
This guy's a Therian in the closet.
Yeah, it's very
I can't imagine the new breed of Therians is going to be like in this old Therian ways of life, right? Play with your pets if you have any. Seems like it doesn't make you that much of a Therian. That you just like to play with pets.
Play with pets. So I guess they're equals kind of at that point.
Put on loud music when you're growling too much so it doesn't bother your neighbors. This is all stuff where it's like, why should I have to hide who I am? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're howling, chirps, and roars. This is
chirps.
Imagine your neighbor was a Therian, though, buddy. Like,
nightmare.
You literally have them crawling. This is what you
honestly
hear.
Imagine your neighbor was a Redditor.
A Redditor, period.
Just period. Yeah. Like if your neighbor's a Redditor, that sucks.
But I just like the idea of you fucking. The people make the joke that your upstairs neighbors are clunking around. Imagine you heard 4 things clunking around, then you hear,
It's Werewolves of London.
I'm eating meat. You just be like, hey, can you stop howling? The guy's like, yeah, I have a disability. I'm a Therian.
Yeah, that sucks.
Put on some loud music to avoid that. And he goes, if you live close to nature, go outdoors. Like, this guy's just like a fun. He's
Put
the
on
gay
some
guy.
loud music, and it's literally Warren Zevon, Werewolves of London. Woo! Not that song.
How does that song go again?
Werewolves of London. Bump bump. It's the same as the Kid Rock song and the other Werewolves of London. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Woo!
If I was a Therian, I'd definitely be a dog. So my neighbor, he goes, keep attached to the real world. Don't do anything dangerous or stupid. This guy's the gay guy of Therians, that like the old school gay guy that just like minded his own business, had a job. Like, he was gay, but he didn't need to like get his dick sucked in public on Reddit before everybody's a teacher.
Well, you do now, pal. Otherwise, we're not going to let you in.
Excuse me, do you have seating for Therians on this plane? Excuse me, woman. Before we have sex, I should know I'm a Therian. What are you, praying mantis? Even if someone looks good to the animal side of you, make sure that it's safe for human consumption before eating. So that one of the things that he's saying, like, listen, I know you're a young Therian, just don't eat a bunch of like raw meat. Or being a Therian is never an excuse to attack people's pets. Well, these guys are walking around on all fours at parks,
like they think they're like a coyote,
dogs.
Like, or something.
Yeah.
Just like,
no, they think they're all sorts eating pets. I think that's one of those things where you go, listen, if you're in the Reddit group to be like, hey, I probably should stop eating people's pets, right? And you go, I think you probably want to go to the police, pal.
Uh-huh.
He's also got this a little bit of a Therian thing of like the old gang member that's like, listen, you don't need to make the same mistakes that I did.
Yeah, learn from my mistakes.
We've all been there. Listen, pal, let's wax a little bit. Let's rap for me. You think I've been there. You think I haven't eaten a pet or two? Listen, why? You go, the kids are all eating pets. He goes, why don't you want to eat? Why can't we eat our pets? He goes, I just don't think you should eat them. He goes, what the fuck do you know? What the fuck do I know? Listen.
He pulls up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Goes, look at this.
Look at this. Yeah.
He goes, oh God, what is that?
Sit the fuck down.
Goes, wolf attack.
Me be doing the attacking on a baby.
1974.
And it was the wrong baby. It wasn't even the right baby that I wanted to eat. It was 1945. My friend just bought a new hamster. It was his favorite hamster. I was walking around on all fours. That hamster caught eyes. I didn't like the way it gave me cut eye.
Put it in my mouth.
Putting on my mouth, and it just felt so fucking good.
Broke his neck. Broke the poor thing's neck.
Broke the poor thing's neck.
Therians are fun.
Wolf life. Really think about this before coming out as a Therian. What is your goal? And do they need to know? Is there a risk that it'll backfire?
I'd say the goal is to annoy people.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any dyslexic actors who find their way into this subreddit?
And what did they thought they were?
Thespians. Just riffing.
Old school versus new school. They said, don't be afraid of hiding your Therianology. I'm telling you, this new breed of Therians, they're fucking out and proud, man.
Where do you find these people?
Online, they find their
But
community.
I'm saying in the wild. Do they refer to everything as the wild?
Where do you find them doing their... I think a lot of times it's just kind of mucking around their apartments and on all fours.
Because nobody accepts them.
Well, a lot of these guys are teenagers, so they still live with their parents, and the parents go out and then they walk around on all fours. But it's probably not giving them the buzz, you know what I mean? You start out by walking on all fours, next thing you know, you want to be eating some hamsters.
Yeah. I bet, like, there's one of these kids goes, like, mom's like, oh, we're having burgers. He goes, I'll take mine raw, Mom. And she goes, raw?
Something you should know. Mom, sit down. There's something you should know about me. You're gay? Yes, but...
Yes, but you knew that. Why are you even bringing it up?
Yes, I'm gay. You're trans? I'm thinking about it. Oh, okay. What is it? Non-binary? I'm polyamorous. Yes, all that stuff.
All
obviously.
the things you know. But I'm a wolf.
But I am, too, a wolf. Wolf Blitzer, the original Therian. Not a lot of people know that fact. Don't be afraid of hiding your Therianology. And he said, it's usually more acceptable to be into furry fans. So if you want to just get your furry, you can disguise yourself as a furry.
That is a good disguise.
But some people might not know that there's a wolf in sheep's clothing at the cosplay thing.
They must. Some of them have a good sense of humor about it, though. And then they go for Halloween as sheep.
And they go, yeah, I'm a wolf.
They're
in
like
sheep's
the
clothing.
Therian thing is literally all dudes dressed as sheeps, being like, "What? You're doing this too? Come on!"
I'm the wolf in sheep's clothing.
You go, what do you mean? You're gonna be the only one?
Take responsibility for your life. You might be a Therian, but don't. You might experience species dysphoria or feel alone or have weird urges, but you must take responsibility, study, get a job. So this guy, I'm telling you, this is the old Therian that just wants the other people to stay in the game. You know what I mean?
This guy was like, and the sign said, dog people not apply.
And the sign said, dog-haired, scruffy people
Yeah, he's like,
must stay outside.
That's what it used to be like.
That's what it used to be like. Now, these new Therians, they're running for office. They're having goddamn own TV shows. Back in my day, we used to keep our species preference to ourselves.
Did they claim Dog the Bounty Hunter?
He might be a low key, like there's
He kind of looks like he did.
Yeah, it's one of those
actually.
things where gay people are like Tom Cruise, probably low key gay. That's them. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Come on,
You go, come on.
we can read between the lines.
Of course he is.
Exactly. What kind of man would want to have sex with his wife? You know what I mean? That's obviously a wolf that he's just... He goes, not everything is Therianology. This is another thing he's saying to young people. Like, not every quirk is just, like, for example, if your dietary preferences, or if you're afraid of spiders, that's not a sign necessarily that you're a wolf.
Yeah.
So that's the old guy. That's kind of, and I'll
the
tell you
old
what.
salt.
This is the old guy, but the new people, how do I tell my parents I'm a Therian? There's so much I've wanted to do that's related to that part of me. I wanted to get gear, for one thing. This guy wants to tell his parents about being a Therian. He's saying, for example, he wants to get gear. I don't know what gear is.
Haven't you disappointed them enough?
Well, I'm assuming he wants to get a wolf costume.
Or gear is code for steroids.
I know,
Maybe he's
I
trying
was
to get
thinking
all
that
jacked
too,
up.
but I don't think he's talking about that type of gear. But this is the thing. So he goes, how do I tell my parents about being a Therian? And the other guy's like, listen, like, you don't need to tell everyone. Like, keep it to yourself. You can talk to us. And the other guy's like, hey, I want to get my parents to buy me a bunch of gear.
Yeah. Like a harness?
I'm tired of having to constantly repress my dog-like instincts. You know, if I want to sniff someone's fucking butt at the fucking dog park, I'm going to sniff a butt.
Imagine like you tell your parents and then they want you to like, you'll be like, yeah, so now you have to take me for walks.
Yeah.
I need to go for a walk. And
Mom,
then
I
you
need to
just
go for a
shit in
walk.
front of your parents when you're like 16.
Couldn't you just be gay? I told you I'm also gay.
I am.
It would be nice to be able to growl and howl without the urge of holding it back because my parents are in the room. So I told you the new guard of Therians is like, why can't I fucking howl at the top of my lungs at the family gathering?
Full moons must be a
It's your
nightmare.
grandmother's 91's birthday. Oh,
Seriously, imagine you live with your parents. It's a full moon.
A full moon would be
Where you
bad.
just like howl into a pillow.
No, what? This is one of those things where your parents that you go to the moon, your dad has to do the thing to like make it uncool. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
he
mean? Your
goes,
dad
"Yeah, me
goes,
too."
Yeah, me too. And your dad's howling.
Rolls his eyes. Oh,
Your dad
fuck
shows up to
this.
school and picks you up dressed like a wolf. What's going on? We're just two Therians coming to pick you up at your friend's house on all fours. Clop, 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 clop. What's the problem? We're just two Therians. I'm also a wolf. He goes, fine, I won't be a fucking wolf anymore.
Fine, I'll just be.
That is definitely how you get your kids out of being a wolf, is you also be a wolf.
That is.
The dad that shows up.
But the
at
guy,
yard.
that dad is like, he's on to his, this is the 10th thing he's had to do like this.
Of course. And most, he's already had it. Your dad's that's also, look at me, I'm also sucking a dick. How you like that?
He's been like a bird, a cat, just everything.
So that's, this guy says he wants to tell his mom and that. This person says they can't run because they're an adult. Today I left my pack. Never joined one. I regret it. So this guy joined a wolf pack.
Yeah.
And apparently the wolf packs aren't as fun as you might think they are.
Yeah.
When I joined the community, the packs seemed nice. I joined a big one on Discord, and the people were kind of fine. But then slowly, they started getting mad at me because I wasn't talking to enough. He wasn't posting enough. So they like you posting if you're going to be in the wolf pack. And there was one rule I hated: be active. You need to warn when you won't be acting. So it's a very it's a very curmudgeon-y wolf pack. They
That's
go,
not
hey, fellow wolves. It's the that show, the British guy show. The wolves in the vampire show.
Oh, yeah. The vampire show.
Hey, if you fellas, if you're not going to be posting in the Facebook forums, the Discord, make sure that you give us a warning so we know that you haven't gone off the reservation, so to speak. Gonna need you to check in 3 or 4, and then they say you become a ghost and you get kicked out if you don't if you're too inactive. And then you have to censor everything you say. The person said that one time they posted a Cult of the Lamb, and they had a because he had lamb, and then they said that you can't post anything with the word cult. So the Therians are very sensitive in the wolf
The
pack.
cult stuff.
So they're PC Therians.
Yeah.
So he
The
says
cult stuff's reasonable. You don't want to get.
doesn't like to be part of the cults. One guy says, is it weird that I despise my Therian types? And this person, guess what their Therian type was?
Fox.
The crocodile.
Oh, you can be a crocodile? Oh,
So
you
he's
can be
a
anything.
crocodile, but he's a bit of a crocodile Uncle Tom because he doesn't like crocodile. Says he works at a place. He goes, in his past, he was a crocodile, but he works at the zoo. And a lot of times when he sees the crocodile, he doesn't really like the crocodiles.
Really?
Which sucks.
He's like
he himself is a crocodile.
He's like the Jewish guard at Auschwitz kind of thing. Where he's working there and they go, must be nice, huh? You piece of shit. Selling out your own kind.
Yeah, he thinks he's more like a lynx or something like that. He wants to be just sort of rolling around in the snow.
What's a crocodile? Always a
Well,
crocodile.
he's bummed out that
pal.
he's a crocodile. And this other person says, are wolf Therians overrated? Because the wolves are walking around like they own the place. So if you have anything else, you're like, oh, I'm a crocodile. And then the wolves are like, yeah, just so you know, the wolves kind of run shit around here because that's the coolest animal and everyone wants to be Therians, which was the same as Otherkins. Everyone wanted to be a wolf.
Yeah.